The Federal Reserve just hiked rates again. What will this mean for our local Charlotte, North Carolina housing market? Stay tuned. Hi guys, my name is Josh Finigan with the Finigan Group here at eXp Realty, and today we'll give you the most up-to-date information on our local Charlotte, North Carolina housing market, the latest and the greatest information so you know exactly what's going on and what to expect. We'll discuss all the most up-to-date information, everything going on in the housing market, and we'll also touch on how the Federal Reserve's most recent rate hike will affect our local housing market. But first, we'll give you the most up-to-date data that we have on the local Charlotte, North Carolina housing market so you know exactly how we differ from the United States economy as a whole. So let's go ahead and jump on in and take a look at the number of new listings we saw hit the market in April of 2023. In April, we saw 1,255 homes hit the market, which was actually an 18% decrease from the amount of new listings we saw hit the market in March, and it's a 30% decrease from the amount of new listings we saw in April of 2022. So we've definitely seen a huge decrease in the amount of new listings we've seen hit the market. And this has been a continuous trend that we've seen over the past few months. And this isn't just a trend affecting our local housing market here in Charlotte. This is a trend we're seeing all across the United States. The number of new listings were down 20% year over year across the board. Redfin's chief economist Daryl Fairweather has described this decrease in the number of new listings we're seeing with a phrase traditionally used in the labor markets to describe employees doing minimum work. Fairweather says that homeowners are quiet quitting the housing market. Mortgage rates over the last decade have been historically low, and they were driven even lower by Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve's massive stimulus in response to the pandemic. Just take a look. Back in 2021, the mortgage rate was just 2.96%, which is the lowest we've ever seen mortgage rates. Now, rates are back up, and they've even more than doubled since the pandemic lows. And a lot of people either moved or refinanced during that time, which means they locked in a super low mortgage rate, leaving many would-be buyers who locked in a super low mortgage rate very reluctant to wade back in this real estate market that could face a mortgage rate possibly double where they're at now. Now, this should come to no surprise for those of you who do subscribe to our channel and watch our market updates, because we've been chatting about this very fact since August of last year. So for those of you who are watching us for the first time or haven't hit that little subscribe button and turn notifications on, this is your chance to make sure you go ahead and click subscribe, turn your notifications on, so you can stay 100% up to date on everything going on in the housing market to help you make the best decision for you and your family. I'm talking to you, Paul and Susie. I know you've watched the channel multiple times and you haven't hit that subscribe button just yet. Just go ahead and hit it so you know exactly what's going on. One good thing for you home buyers out there, even though we've seen the number of new listings continuously decrease, we have seen the number of homes on the market currently actually increase year over year. Over the past few weeks, we've seen an average of 2,859 homes on the market at any given time, which is a 25% increase from the amount of homes we saw on the market at any given time just 1 year ago. In April, we saw 1,309 homes actually accept an offer, which is strangely exactly the same amount of homes we saw accept an offer in March, but it was a 12% decrease from the amount of homes that accepted an offer in April of 2022. So last month, we saw the number of pending sales outpace the number of new listings. And with the exception of March, this has been an ongoing trend since December of 2022. And it's a very important factor because the relationship of new listings to pending sales is one of the strongest leading indicators of where this market's going to be going right in our near future. It helps us determine the relationship between supply versus demand and where our housing month's inventory will be in the future. The number of homes that accepted an offer outpacing the number of homes coming onto the market means our demand is outpacing our supply, which means the inventory should decrease over time, which means it's turning into a heavier and heavier seller's market rather than a heavier and heavier buyer's market. Overall, in layman's terms, it means it's better for home sellers, worse for home buyers. In April, we saw 1,063 homes actually close, which was a 13% decrease from the amount of homes we saw in March and it was a 27% decrease from the amount of homes we saw close in April of 2022. We talked about leading indicators, and now closed data is actually what we call a lagging indicator, because the home that closed in April actually probably accepted an offer 30 to 45, maybe 60 days prior. So it gives us a glimpse of what happened previously a couple of months ago. How about the average sales price here in the Charlotte area? In April, the average sales price was $526,500, which is a 2% increase from the average sales price in March, and it's a 3% increase from the average sales price just a year ago in April of 2022, which is good for you homeowners here in the Charlotte area. We are still seeing home prices appreciate year over year. Granted, they aren't appreciating like we saw over the past couple of years. We're seeing a little bit more of a stabilized gradual growth. And we're really outpacing the United States as a whole, which tells us we're a much more resilient and more in-demand market than a lot of other places in the United States. The average sales price in the United States have fallen by 3% year over year. And if you take a look at some of the hardest hit markets like Austin, Texas, that's dropped 15% year over year, or San Francisco, that's dropped 13% year over year. So go ahead and pat yourselves on the back, you local Charlotte homeowners. We live in a very desirable area. There's a lot of people moving here, so we're a very resilient market, and we're going to be insulated from a lot of the things going on in the overall economy, a lot more than other places in the United States. The average time a home is sitting on the market before it sells has declined from its highs of 61 days in February to around 34 days in April. So homes are selling a little bit quicker, but on average, homes are still taking a longer time to sell than they did a year prior, where the average days on market was just 30 days, or 2 years ago where it took an average of 22 days. So the days on market are decreasing again with that buyer demand increasing. But if we look at the year-over-year trends, it still is taking a little bit longer for homes to sell than they have over the past couple years. How about mortgage rates? Now, throughout April, mortgage rates stayed relatively stable, hovering around the mid to low 6% range, which is a testament to how much mortgage rates are affecting our housing market. When mortgage rates are volatile, our housing market tends to be a little more volatile. When they're more stable, our housing market tends to be a little more stable, which the last month has been a little bit more stable. But the Federal Reserve did meet again in May 2nd and May 3rd, and they did raise rates again by 25 basis points, taking their prime rate to a range of 5% to 5.25%. This is the highest the prime rate has been since 2007. However, this may not be bad news for our housing market. Redfin's Deputy Chief Economist Taylor Marr says the latest Fed rate hike should not affect mortgage rates, as it was an expected move. Also, Jerome Powell at the Federal Reserve all but said that we could expect a pause in the rate hikes sometime in the near future. If so, this could put downward pressure on the long-term bond yields, which means homebuyers out there could see a little bit of relief in their mortgage rate. On other good news, recent data indicates that the Fed's tightening policy seems to be working, although some say maybe a little bit too well with the ongoing turmoil we're seeing in the banking sector. Just take a look at headline inflation, which decreased to 5% in March, which is the lowest we've seen in the past 2 years. And inflation's well below the June 2022 peaks of 9.1%. But we do still have a long way to go to reach the Federal Reserve's goal of 2% inflation. And Jerome Powell acknowledged that the committee feels that we are much closer to the end than we are at the beginning of this tightening period, and signaled a pause of raising rates could be in the cards. But he mentioned he's not planning on cutting rates anytime soon. So what does this mean for you homebuyers out there? Now, there's still a lot of demand in our local housing market, so you're still going to see a little bit of competition, but you'll also see a few more homes available. So if you haven't seen any homes that really fit your criteria, I definitely recommend looking again, because we are seeing the inventory increase a little bit. You have more options to choose from, and we are starting to see rates stabilize a little bit. Now, can we possibly see rates decline towards the end of the year? Possibly, but not by a lot. The experts indicate we'll probably end 2023 around the high 5% to the low 6%. And one thing to keep in mind, if that rate does decrease, the demand will increase as well. So even if you have that rate go down, that means a lot more buyers that were on the sideline just like you were will jump into the market, which means you may have a lot more competition than you currently have. And for you homeowners out there, we have seen home prices rebound, especially here in the local Charlotte area. We are seeing those sell prices increase, even though if it's more gradual than they have in the past. And we have seen the activity pick back up, especially with seasonal trends, the mortgage rates stabilizing, and a lot of home buyers buyers are starting to get used to higher rates. There is still record low inventory out there, so if you are considering making a move, then there's a lot of buyers out there and there's not a lot to choose from. But if you are asking, hey, is it a right time for me to personally buy or sell? It really depends on what you're looking to accomplish. And we know that all our clients have different goals, so it may be a right time or it may not be. So if you are considering buying, selling, or investing in real estate, myself and my team would love to be your real estate resource of choice. Feel free to call, text, or email us. We'd love to sit down with you, identify what you're looking to accomplish, and help you decide if now's the best time for you to make a move, or if you're better set to wait a little bit. And guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, click that like button. It shows me that you care. And make sure you do click that subscribe button and turn notifications on so you don't miss any of our market updates in the future. If you want to stay 100% up to date on everything going on in your backyard, click the link in the description below to sign up to our weekly newsletter. We will keep you 100% posted on all of our new content, everything we're releasing, so you know what's going on in your backyard. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video.